Good morning, good morning. What's up, folks? What's up, Strife? What's up, Navy Plum? What's up, Alf? Is that Alf like the old school alien puppet guy that ate cats? Is that the same Alf that we're talking about? Hopefully, we will have some folks filtering in here momentarily. Let me get my screen sharing started for you all. Here we go. Yeah. That looks right. That's right. I can see my mouse. Okay, cool. What's up, Navy Plum? Good morning to you, buddy. How are you? Hope everybody's been well. Sorry, I've been a little bit quiet uh, in the last week, beginning of this just craziness going on outside the markets. But yesterday, I think, was the conclusion of that temporary little scenario. uh, but markets are continuing to do their thing, making moves to the upside. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. I'm just trying to eyeball. I think we do have probably at least one more demand zone on the 4-hour chart. On the daily chart, it's just a straight vertical move. You can't really see anything. I think we've got one right there for sure. Could be creating another one where we're currently sitting. Also, interestingly, back over this ascending trend line that ES was holding for, gosh, a long time. Pretty good run there. When did it go back to? Yeah, right around here, October, early October. That broke to the downside, shook a lot of people out for sure, and that moved down, and then we have rallied right back. We're back over that, so doesn't look like we're going to see any sort of a issue with a back test getting back over this. In fact, I think this trend line is now probably not even really worth watching anymore. Do still have this overhead trend though, also coming up against the 333 SMA here on the 4-hour chart, so just kind of be mindful of that. We could see things start to top out, struggle a little bit, might need to see a pullback before we push higher type of scenario. As we run into some of these sort of bigger picture resistances. What's up, Strife? Good morning to you. I see some more folks have popped into the chat. What's up, Motech? What's up, El Signon? Rayer, Sataru, what's up, buddy? Good to see you here, Noodle Boy. Thank you all for joining me. If you guys don't have the chat open, please pop that open. Little word bubble icon in the top right hand corner of your Discord. If you're looking at the morning live stream channel, you see nothing but a bunch of avatar tiles. There is a little chat feature here that you can see and use, and it's where I'll post my charts that are kind of static trade plans, or static snapshots of our trade plans, I should say. And you guys can give me ticker requests, ask questions, do all that sort of stuff via that chat section of this channel. So make sure you've got that open. I get some coffee in here. So, like I said, overall markets on a nice run, strong recovery. Broke through several supply zones that I had already cleared off of my chart prior to starting today's live stream. I think we do have, it's a very small one, very small little, sorry, demand zone right here. Let's see if that, if we come back and back test that, if it even really has much of an impact, but direct that somewhere away, but deal with that later. So, yeah, like I said, things looking strong, looking like a big old bull flag, really, kind of with this topping action. So I'd be paying attention to, you know, kind of a trend line that looks like that. If we pop over that, we could see the next leg up, and probably a test of this bigger picture downtrend, possibly somewhere in this, what would we be in, 43.98 to 44.20, somewhere in that range. We also have a supply zone that stretches up to about 44.12. So yeah, I'd probably even say more like 43.98 to 44.12. I'd be looking for some strong resistance. Definitely put some hedges in place, scale out any longer term contracts, only hold a few runners, that sort of thing. Yes, I am speaking, Raj. Yes, everybody can hear me okay, correct? believe everyone can hear me. Check your audio. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like I'm getting picked up both on Discord and uh, on my screen capture software that we're broadcasting to YouTube with. So if anybody's got eyes on the YouTube feed and can confirm that we're getting audio to that, I know we did have an issue with that for a couple of sessions, but I think we've got that squared away. So if I'm wrong about that, let me know. All right, so let's get to a couple of recaps of trade plans that we did on last week's live stream. If you guys want to go ahead and start giving me your ticker requests for today, I know we've already got a question on Apple, so how I feel about Apple this week will be based on our trade plan, right? So let's do a trade plan on Apple. Let's not focus on how we feel about things. Let's focus on what our plans are telling us to do. That way it's kind of a non-biased, purely technical approach to how we're executing our trades and looking for trades, and really ultimately I shouldn't say looking for trades, but allowing trades to come to us. Yep, we can take a look at Tesla as well. Raj, I'm guessing you can now hear me, so hopefully you got the audio stuff squared away. All right, so let's do our recaps. One of the ticker requests we got, what was that, last Thursday, was for Goldman Sachs here. I think that was from, oh gosh, it's like Sonoso or something like that. I think it's Sonogo. I think longtime Xtrades member remembers kind of the early days of the live streams podcast, really kind of more just strictly podcasts. We were just talking when we also did like a Friday power hour session and stuff like that. But anyway, Zenogo asked for Goldman Sachs last Thursday. This one played out beautifully. Here's Thursday's regular trading hours trading session. We got a breakout and strong back test and hold over our call entry level, and then overnight pretty much gapped up through price targets 1 and 2, came for a quick little back test near price target 2, and just launched beyond all of my targets. We did do these levels kind of live, and I think we kind of did them a little bit quickly. I think we focused just on a specific range, maybe here from Goldman Sachs. So don't claim to have charted every level, or this is certainly not my best set of support and resistance levels, but the plan played out nonetheless. Continuing to hold this uptrend, it looks like moving to the upside and getting ready to challenge the trend line overhead here pretty soon. So, well, Motec, I kind of, when I talk about ES, that's kind of my sentiments on SPY, right? Because futures really drives SPY, SPX, all that sort of stuff. So if we're talking about S&P futures, that's sort of my take on any S&P related tickers. So, but you'll also get, of course, daily SPY plan that I post in the options watch list. If you haven't seen those, I think they have an incredibly high level of accuracy and a pretty strong success rate. So options watch list each morning, probably between like 9:20 and 9:30. You'll see me posting a pretty detailed plan for how to execute SPY trades on the day, at least from my perspective. There's also lots of ways to, oh, speaking of, actually, I just happened to click over to, this is yesterday's, where we got a little bit of a dump down to this confluence. Ultimately, PT1 held. We definitely printed a little bit lower, but I was probably torn between two levels that were close together. I'll always go with the more conservative of the two. So quick downside put played out, but there are also ways to kind of utilize these levels to, you know, find other trades. You know, for example, you could have been looking to play this stop loss average down for calls as a resistance and try to play rejections to the downside. If there's some indicators that you see that kind of add up to that, you know, this was an interesting, really clean bounce off the put entry level, so strong support there. Again, there's a ways to reverse engineer these levels, but you'll see the plan in the mornings. ES is really kind of more of my take on the S&P and where we're sitting and where we're probably going in the near future. So anyway, hopefully that clears it up, explains it for you. So going back to Goldman Sachs again, this one was for Zenogo. Is just totally ripped through all of our price targets and then some. And again, I think these were pretty quick levels because it looks like I only charted fairly limited range with anything other than weekly levels. So again, don't claim to have captured every level in the probably brief amount of time I spent charting this one out. The other one we did was, what was the Southern Company, so utility company. Forget who asked for this one. They actually just reported earnings this morning that we did this trade plan. So this was a kind of an interesting approach, not something I would typically go after, but you know, again, sometimes you get these scenarios where the earnings numbers come out strong. These actually weren't all that strong, so I was surprised that this one kind of ran as quickly as it did, but did get the breakover and a nice little back test right there of our call entry level. Pushed all the way up to PT1. That kind of seemed to be the high of the day resistance there that we caught with this plan, and then moved on up to PT2. Looks like a double top there and has pulled back since. I did play a few contracts on this one on this move up there, but I just day traded them. I didn't hold anything up through there, so looks like it's coming back to back test our call entry level here, but not a lot of support as far as indicators are concerned, sitting under it, at least not on the 5-minute. Things still overall trending bullish, looking at the 15-minute 200 SMA, probably going to catch up to this call entry around 68.99, so you know, could potentially see an opportunity to recycle this on a back test, but yeah, I don't know. I'd almost like to see it come down a little bit further, like to this high of the day there. Or if you do play it, I would use a pretty tight stop if you're playing it right off this 68.99 level that we used last time. And I think you'd have a pretty decent confluence close to that. You know, that's a little bit too tight, actually. Yeah, maybe closer to like 68.64. I'd play a tight stop on it just because it looks like it's pulling back pretty hard and it's definitely flipped some things bearish. I don't want folks to catch a falling knife, and if you're going to try to do it, make sure you got a very good safety net close by, that being a tight stop loss. So anyway, those are our trade plans, both successful. One 3 targets hit, the other 2 targets hit before we saw a pullback. Targets and levels were definitely a lot more thought out and developed, as you can see here on our Southern Company trade plan. So not surprised that I caught those moves a little bit better than we did with Goldman Sachs. So let's take a look at, we've got Apple and Tesla on the docket for this morning. If you guys have any other ticker requests, I don't know if I'll be able to get through a third trade plan, but I do know I have Apple and Tesla levels kind of already dialed in pretty well. So we might be able to get through these relatively quickly. We did have a recent trade plan from, what was this? Looks like Tuesday, so the Halloween live stream. We did a trade plan for Tesla. Eventually the upside did open up and play out. All the price targets hit and then some, really all the way up to this 226.64 level that it caught pretty cleanly, actually. So anyway, that's old news now. What have you done for me lately, Tesla? Let's figure that out. So already just looking at the 5-minute chart, I kind of like a break back over this 220.08 level, puts us over these moving averages as resistance, at least on the 5-minute. Also would put us over this high that we kind of hit going into the close yesterday. Still have some pressure on it, at least on that time frame. From a Neptune perspective, same thing here. Whoops, actually I wanted to look at the hourly, not the 30-minute. Let's see, yeah, see, that's really, it's kind of only one of my key time frames, but it's still showing that kind of pressure. But yeah, I keep seeing this 220.08 looking like over that I can try to make another move for some more upside. Question is, where do we set our first target? A little bit of a gap up. That gap's filled, but gap levels are always interesting to me once they've developed, because they tend to act as pretty good support and resistance sort of from that point forward. And this gap, actually, you know, just coincidentally, speaking of these gap levels, is also right here at our 220.08 level that we're already eyeballing. So yeah, I almost like to play this like as a gap that's already filled, but as another gap fill, if that even makes any sense. But I'm kind of thinking that that looks like a good first price target.
Hi, Pat.
Hi, Chris. How you doing?
Good morning. What's up?
Good morning. I'm here in the office. I'm going to be using my desktop, but
Yeah.
over
Oh
the
boy.
weekend I couldn't use my laptop because I couldn't change my password. I haven't had.
Oh gosh, that poor woman can't change her password. Don't worry about it. Somebody got caught on a hot mic there. Our boy Chris. I muted him, so we don't have to listen to that. That's too funny. I finally got to hear it this time. I didn't. Well, last time it happened, I like for whatever reason I was never able to hear Chris, but Chris just messaged me in the chat, and I'll take your server mute back off. Chris, I can't change my password. It's too funny. All right, sorry about that, folks. So, over 220.08. Sorry, I'm like strongly eyeballing this level here. Let's go ahead and call that. I like that as a good first price target. Too funny. Chris with the endless entertainment. His work drama. All right, let's see. Thinking, yeah, this level right around in here. 218.67. It seems a little too tight though. There is something sitting in here that. Sorry, guys, I'm just trying to dial in this stop loss for this plan. Yeah, I think it's right around here. It's really where I was looking at a moment ago, so that's what I keep seeing. Let's go with it. Over that, I like this. I think it makes a pretty good move up over that. Second price target. Third price target. Let's take a look. Yeah, up here at this 230.08 level. So that's the upside trade plan. To the downside, let's see, it's got support down through there, but yeah, I think if we get a good, oh, Chris, buddy, thank you for that. I've unmuted you, so be careful. You might be on a hot mic again. But yeah, like help that lady change her password, man. You got things to deal with. I can tell. That just popped on out of nowhere. It was too funny. All right. So, playing this back to the downside, I like break black below 214.85. I'm still on the call more, folks. It's all good, buddy. I like that 211.33. Below that, there's the level here that I don't have, but there's definitely something sitting here. 208.48. Below that, yeah, that kind of really sticks out to me. So another hourly level here that I may not have yet here at 205.78. So those look like the downside targets to me. Upside targets, okay, that's a fully fledged Tesla trading plan. So let's, just for the sake of making this easier to see and follow for you guys, we'll drop this on to another layout over here. That'll go in the Discord chat. What's this? Say it slowly. Okay, I will. CDHD. You know that auctioneer in me just wants to come out. Maybe I should like post like a light mode and a dark mode version of the chart. Would that help you see it any better? Well, probably not, because some of my lines are like white and stuff. Maybe I'll probably just make it worse. Sexy sweet. I'm also from the South. Although you would probably say it's not Southern enough. I don't know where you're from, but that's what most people say. All right, Tesla trade plan. South of the Mason-Dixon line. Oh yeah, no, I'm definitely not southern enough for you. Then I'm from Virginia. Technically the South, though. Technically, just barely. All right, so let's cover this Tesla trade plan, and I will cover it slowly for our boys from Texas and Tennessee. So, aka CDHT. All right, so for Tesla, we're looking for a break over 220.08. We've got targets at 222.54, 226.64, and 230.08, with a stop loss average down at 218.57. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 214.85. That gives us targets at 211.33, 208.48, and 205.78, with a stop loss average down at 216.73. Chris, let me know, or not Chris, CD, let me know if you missed any of those levels, my friend. That's about as slow as I can force myself to do it. I'm like itching to, like, let me run. All right, so the other one we had a request for was Apple. Apple, I think I also already have up. I was looking at it this morning, coincidentally. So, and who asked about Apple? That was L. I'm guessing that's Signon. I'm gonna pronounce it like filet mignon. Signon. Feel like sing on. That doesn't sound right. Signon makes it sound very fancy. Very soigné. Signal on. Got it. All right. So Apple. How do we want to go after Apple? I think the answer to that is probably over this 179.08 level that seems to be calling my name a little bit. Let's check it here too, though. It's probably right about there. Yeah. Yep, there's just a level there that I didn't have yet. Looks like it's kind of a more recently developed level, but that's okay. Then over that, let's go back to this. Interesting little ejection there, though. 79.44. That's pretty recent, too. Sorry, I'm really debating with myself over where to put this entry level, because I don't want to get us into a spot where we're kind of limited on upside right at a rejection point, especially a recent rejection like that. 79.25. All right. There is that one weird little rejection. Sorry, I'm gonna mark this real quick. I just want to see where this level is, but with some prior price action. If that's hitting something that's real, or if that's just kind of a random, somewhat random, nothing's ever truly random, rejection. There's definitely something right around that spot. Yeah. All right, so playing over that, I kind of feel like really, yeah, okay. I see what I want to do now. So I think we gotta wait for this 179.69 to break at this point. Good 4-hour level there. think that opens up some room at the very least. Let's take a look at this. Start to look at this on some smaller time frames. Yeah, it's right about this 180.38 daily level. Over that, there's definitely a level here that maybe this level I just put is a little off. It's probably sit more like that. Yeah, I think we're shooting for that 180.50. 180.150, sorry. Interesting top here. Around 182.31. This is another one I want to take a look at. Clearly not going to establish support and resistance on a 15-minute chart, but let's see how it looks across the board. Yep, we're talking about gap levels a moment ago. Well, no, I'm sorry. That's not a part of the gap. That's right prior to that gap forming. Nope, there it is as a gap there, though. Yeah, there's something there. That 182.31 level for sure. So I think that's our third price target, in my opinion. I think I can confidently call this a 2-hour level at the very least, based on what I saw. Let me just check that 181.50 one more time. Yeah, it could be a little bit lower, actually. Could be more like 181.23. Let's check that. Yeah, yep. So then our stop loss level, I think we play this kind of current top resistance. I don't want to be back below that. We're playing for upside, and we've already broken above 179.60. Sorry, yeah, 69. Teehee. Yeah, I think it really starts to wind up with a drag on it. Probably below 179.25. Double check that. I think that gives us our upside trade plan. You know what? You give it a little bit more room. Take it down here. 179.06. That's pretty clear that we could be in trouble for more downside if that breaks. I would be less hopeful for any kind of bounce below that level as well. All right, so let's check this recent run to the upside. This is the level I was certainly eyeballing to play Apple for some downside momentum. I think that takes us down to this 177.09 level. There's a weekly level just below that. Could catch a bounce there. But between the two, I lean a little bit more toward that 177.09. Below that, I like this, what was a prior price target that we just bounced off of on this run to the upside here at 175.99. And below that, yeah, kind of a 175.12. Then you start to get into potentially hitting some confluences of support as well. Stop loss average down for this. I think this level might be a little low, 78.55. I think that level actually is more right here. Let's see what that does underneath this spot I was looking at over here. Yep. That's pretty much right where I was thinking it would be. Okay, so that's our downside trade plans. So let's mark these up. I don't know, Chris, but I'm glad I finally got to hear it. I've heard rumors of the soap opera that is Chris's work environment during a morning live stream, but for some reason my audio never wants to pick it up. But this morning I was blessed. All right, here's our Apple trade plan. So for Apple, what we're looking for is a break over 179.69. That gives us targets at 180.38, 181.23, and oh wait, sorry, I'm going to yeah, I did. Finally, Chris, I can't reset my password. Thank you, appreciate it. All right, CD. Sorry, I realized I was getting off into my auctioneer mode accidentally. So for Apple, we're looking for a break over 179.69. That gives us targets at 180.38, 181.23, and 182.31, with a stop loss average down at 179.06. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 178.03, with targets at 177.09, 175.99, and 175.12, with a stop loss average down at 178.66. Those are your Apple trade plans. Get after them. All right, what else did we have? We had Tesla, we had Apple, and Chris came in off the top rope with a request for Square, Block, whatever they're called these days. Let's take a look. I think we got time. You got it, buddy. Hopefully, as most of my trade plans do, I feel, will play out. Hopefully it plays out easily. That's what I really prefer. Yeah, I feel like they always play out, but sometimes, not always play out. That was a total misstatement. They play out more often than they don't. That is probably the best I can say without sounding like I'm just way too high on my own horse. But sometimes, man, they can be challenging. Get some challenging holds. Okay, Square just reported earnings. A really nice earnings surprise there. Almost 20% surprise. 3% on revenue too. Not terrible. Solid beat. A little bit of profit taking pullback. Not surprised to see that. I think we definitely have a downside entry sitting right here, so we'll keep an eye on that. Upside, I am intrigued by this 49.83 level. It was a part of a previous trade plan at some point. Let's see if that's just sort of a one-time flash in the pan, or if that's more of a level we really do want to pay close attention to. This is a little interesting run to the downside. Almost looks like we want to give it one more level. Then I think we're shooting for, I think we're looking at 49.83 to 51.91 entry to PT1 right here. I think. Double check this real quick. I don't see anything that changes my mind about that. It could actually shoot a little higher, but I'm okay with having a slightly more conservative level there. It is interesting though that it's a pretty clear top. It's like right in between two existing levels. Let's just take a quick look at this. Don't know if there's anything here or not, but only one way to find out. And we've got a little bit of time, so. You know, I could see it making a move up to that, actually. There's definitely two levels there. I'm gonna leave this on my chart because I think it's a good level, but again, if I'm torn, gonna err on the side of going conservative. At least picking a target that's slightly closer to the price action. Bullish on the flow? Yeah, okay. It's always something to, you know, keep your eye on. Just don't, God, we had one guy who was in the group for a little while back in the day who, I mean, would swear to you on his life that he doesn't need charts. He can just trade strictly off of options flow. And he eventually left the group, I think probably because he blew his accounts, and then probably put some money into some accounts again. He started like blowing up my DMs, asking me for advice on trades, and I was just like, dude, what do you need me for? You got options flow. It's all you need, right? So don't get too reliant or dependent upon it. Don't put too much weight into it unless you see something that's like a lot of money, deep in the money, long expiration. That's maybe giving you a hint that somebody likes a bullish, or I guess potentially bearish entry if it's deep in the money puts, at a particular point in time. But could be hedges, could be parts of spreads, so that's where, again, options flow becomes a little bit of a red herring sometimes, I guess. All right, so this downside trade plan, I like that break below. I like that first price target as far as being at 46.36, that weekly level. Below that, I think there's enough of an imbalance here. There's definitely been some strong both support and resistance built up around this, probably close to 45 psychological level, so I think I'd use that as a second price target. Do have a bunch of moving averages here on the hourly, all right around this 44.31 level. I think it could try to kind of really fill this whole buy imbalance back down to 43.66 is what it looks like to me. Stop loss, I think we wouldn't want to be back over this 48.24 level that we've bounced off of as support here recently. So I think that's a good stop loss average down level. Gives us our third trade plan of this morning's live stream. Hopefully today will be a day where we go 3 for 3. It's happened before. I'm sure it'll happen again. Whether today's that day is the question. And downside is going to look like this. Yeah, absolutely agree, Chris. Don't use flow only. Don't see like, oh man, there's a bunch of money put into these puts. Like, okay, well, do we know if it was a buy or a sell of those puts? Is it a part of a spread? There's a lot to analyze with options flow. Something that I think people are too eager to follow blindly sometimes. But we are shepherds guiding folks in the right direction, I'd say, with regards to that here. So let's talk about our square trade plan, and then we'll wrap it up for this morning's live stream here at Xtrades. We are looking for a break over 50.34 to play square for more upside up to targets at 51.91, 53.33, and 54.73, with the stop loss average down at 49.49. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 47.49 with targets at 46.36, 44.97, and 43.66, with a stop loss average down at 48.24. Hopefully, CD, you were able to follow all that. So, with that being said, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I should be a little bit more active. I have a haircut scheduled for like around the lunch hour today, but other than that, I should be around. I got a bunch of crap cleared off my desk yesterday. So I will see you guys in the chat. Go out there and get some green. And as we always say, it's probably not, man. I say these things super fast. So, you know, I get it. If I need to slow down for people, I'm totally cool with that. I do tend to machine gun through those sometimes. So yeah, yeah, that's definitely my style there, bro. So with that, I'm gonna hit you guys with our FOMO live stream motto.
Plan your trades and trade your plans.
That's right. Plan your trades and trade your plans. Go out there, make it a green day. I will see you guys in the chat. Spy plan coming at you in the options watch list here momentarily. We'll see you guys back here Thursday morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you guys have a fantastic day. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you Thursday.